Welcome to today's Explainer. We're looking at a completely fascinating collision of two totally different worlds today. On one side, we have massive traditional agricultural real estate, thousands of hectares of dirt, crops, and hard physical labor. And on the exact opposite side, we have cutting-edge Web3 and blockchain technology. It sounds like a totally unlikely pairing, right? But over in Vietnam's Lam Dong province, a really powerful alliance of Singapore-based trusts has just greenlit a massive funding initiative for a super project at Dai Ninh Lake and the Kanai ethnic village. So how exactly does invisible blockchain code manage physical land and actually help real-world farmers? Well, that is exactly what we're going to unpack today. Here's our roadmap. We're kicking things off with the super project initiation, then diving into the Tam Tai capital model, digitizing assets, how smart contracts actually operate, the governance technology launchpad, and finally, the unchanging philosophy behind it all. Section 1, initiating the super project and taking a look at the massive scale of Kanai. So, backed by a massive financial alliance of Singapore-based trusts, we're talking US Trust, ATT Trust, and Novita Trust, we're looking at a staggering 10,000 hectares in the unique highland region of Lam Dong. Just to put that into perspective, that is absolutely massive. And notice the perfect 50-50 split here. 5,000 hectares are dedicated to eco-development around Dai Ninh Lake to drive economic growth, and the other 5,000 strictly reserved as community residential space for the Kanai village. It's this really deliberate balance between driving an economy and preserving a local community's actual home. But get this, here is the real jaw-dropping number: 78%. Over 78% of the profits are channeled straight back into the community. From day one, this whole thing is legally structured as a sustainable social project, not just a quick commercial profit grab. No way. It's a bold statement that long-term sustainable development is the ultimate endgame here. Section 2, the Tam Tai capital model, structuring the $16 million investment. Now, to manage a whopping $160 million, they're actually blending ancient Eastern philosophy with ultra-modern finance, using what's called the Tam Tai model, that basically translates to heaven, earth, and human. So heaven gets the lion's share at $100 million. That's the macro vision, the big foundational strategy. Next is Earth, with $50 million, covering all the tangible physical infrastructure. And finally, human gets $10 million, which focuses directly on the people actually executing the vision. It's honestly a super intentional balancing act between big picture strategy, hard infrastructure, and human capital. Moving right along to Section 3, digitizing assets, turning physical land into digital tokens. So you might be wondering, how on earth do you fit $160 million and 10,000 hectares of actual highland dirt into a computer system? Well, it's totally strip away all the confusing tech jargon. Everyday fiat money and physical land are simply transformed into digital tokens and NFTs. And hey, forget whatever you've heard about NFTs just being expensive digital art. In this agricultural context, an NFT just acts like a digital red book, basically a highly secure, verifiable digital property deed. One specific NFT represents one specific real-world patch of land or even a single crop harvest. It is literally the vital bridge that turns physical farming into digital data. Section 4, how smart contracts operate, automating the farm with Web3. Okay, so now that the land and the money are digitized, how does this actually help the farmers out in the mud? Let's trace this completely straight line of capital. Step 1, the trusts in Singapore inject the US dollars. Step 2, that money is converted straight into those tokens and NFTs we just talked about. Step 3, the digital assets circulate on the project's specialized platform, called SSA Kanai. And finally, Step 4, the system uses smart contracts to deal directly with the farmers. It's an incredibly tight, closed loop, flowing all the way from high-level international finance straight down to the local farmer's field. To really understand why this is a massive game changer, let's compare the two. With traditional farming cooperatives, a farmer is usually stuck dealing with mountains of paperwork, excruciatingly slow payouts, and honestly, a total lack of transparency. But look at smart contracts. A smart contract is literally just a piece of computer code that acts like a digital vending machine. It runs on simple if this, then that logic. For example, if a farmer's crop is verified to meet export standards, boom, the contract executes automatically. No waiting around for a manager to sign a piece of paper. The funds are instantly dispersed, and the transaction is permanently recorded on the blockchain. It completely cuts out the slow, cumbersome middlemen. Section 5, Governance Technology Launchpad. The engine running the smart contracts. Now, as you can imagine, running thousands of these digital vending machines all at once requires a massively robust technological house to keep everything from crashing. Enter the SSA Kanai, or the Smart Super App, which is currently refining its V0.1 interface. And to be clear, this is definitely not just a simple crypto wallet on your smartphone. It is the absolute core governance platform for this entire regenerative economic model. Basically, a heavy-duty, comprehensive operating center managing the flow of everything we've looked at today.
And the sheer scope of the system is just astonishing. We're talking about managing 115 cooperatives spread across 5 strategic regions. All of that runs on their very own proprietary operating system called Arebchi. Plus, here is a really clever logistical move. The entire transactional flow is integrated directly with the crypto exchange located in Danong, which locks in a tiny fixed transaction fee of just 0.1%. By localizing that exchange, they have basically built a highly efficient, closed-loop financial ecosystem right there within the domestic market.
Section 6, the unchanging philosophy, guiding the Web3 frontier. So we've talked a whole lot about this highly advanced, kind of Wild West technology. But tech without a compass can easily go off the rails. So I really want to highlight this powerful quote from the project representative Dr. Du-Hu Qian, lawyer first, tycoon later. I think that perfectly encapsulates their absolute strictness when it comes to legal prudence. In the incredibly volatile world of blockchain and tokenized assets, their core philosophy is to heavily prioritize risk management and legal compliance before opening the floodgates to capital. Actually, it's like they're building an ironclad legal fence before they even let a drop of digital money flow. And we see that exact same structured discipline in their tech infrastructure. Remember the Tamtai model we talked about earlier? Well, they use it here too as a blueprint, basically pulling the absolute best traits from global tech hubs. The Heaven Pillar draws its inspiration right from the Jewish Silicon Valley, focusing heavily on deep vision and foundational strategy. Then the Earth Pillar takes its cues from the traditional US Silicon Valley, zooming in on robust infrastructure. And lastly, the Human Pillar is totally inspired by the Shenzhen Silicon Valley, prioritizing rapid, relentless speed of execution. It's this really deliberate, awesome amalgamation of global tech philosophies. So what does this all mean? When we step back and look at a 10,000-hectare super project, hundreds of millions in funding, and automated smart contracts dictating terms directly to farmers in the field, we really have to ask ourselves, is tokenizing assets and relying on blockchain the ultimate key to unlocking the future of traditional farming models? Can a piece of code truly cure the age-old inefficiencies of the cooperative system? Well, the crops growing in Lamdong over the next few years will give us the clearest answer yet. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive through the Kanai project. Stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.